let's talk about loneliness. I got a couple of messages on Instagram a few days ago asking about how I cope with loneliness. Coming from India, living in Europe can be a big change, not just because you have to manage your entire life from scratch, but also because it can definitely get lonely. Of course, I anticipated this, or at least I thought I did. My partner lives alone in Europe, my friends live by themselves here too. I heard their stories and I figured I knew what it would feel like. Back home in Mumbai, when I was packing to move to Dublin, I'd tell myself that I have to be prepared for feeling lonely. I tried to remember my friends' experiences about how difficult it can get sometimes, especially during a pandemic. And so, along with my clothes and shoes, I also packed all these stories and experiences with me, thinking that knowledge of it would prepare me enough to stop the loneliness from hitting. Of course, I was right to mentally prepare myself. However, I feel that I didn't really understand the kind of loneliness that could hit. It's not just the fact that you miss family and friends or that you miss company, it's deeper than that. Over the past few months, I've been reflecting a lot about why I sometimes feel lonely despite living the life I wanted. It's been so nice and sunny the past few days. We have to get the garden trimmed, but still nice and sunny. It's true that we often underestimate how different living alone would actually feel. I mean, I do have flatmates and I do have good friends at college, yet I can't shake off the feeling sometimes that I'm alone. Something feels off, and the loneliness strikes at the most unexpected times, in the most unanticipated ways. Sometimes it hits at the grocery store or when I'm in the bus. Something happens inside my head to make me feel like I have nobody. My mind knows that it's a trick being played by loneliness and that it's not actually true that I'm alone. I keep asking myself, is my loneliness really the feeling of not meeting other people? Because I do meet other people every single day and I'm in regular touch with people back home. And also, if I really do miss seeing people and I want to be around others more, then why do I sometimes feel like cancelling out on plans and being at home? This tug of war between wanting your space and actually feeling lonely gets tiring. Oh god, it is so heavy. I've got groceries in my hand and in my backpack. This is the part I hate about living alone. It is that you have to carry everything that you buy, and it's exhausting. I am, as you can tell, what everyone calls an overthinker. So naturally, I tend to analyze my feelings a lot. So I wondered, do I feel lonely because I simply get bored sometimes, and when I'm bored, my mind rushes to overthink? Or do I feel lonely here because I miss the community feeling of India? Because it's true that society here is very individualistic as compared to back home. It's something I appreciate and dislike at the same time. Or maybe the loneliness is just because I'm tired. Tired of having to run all the time. Run for class, run behind deadlines, run to catch the bus. Maybe my mind and body are sick of the global capitalist machine that is sucking my energy every day. And I'm just exhausted having to constantly prove my worth. I even wondered if it's because of the cold. I'm not used to European winters, and damn, they can be harsh. All my friends here warned me about seasonal depression, and sometimes I've felt maybe it's just that it is too cold, and both my body and my soul crave for some warmth. It is way too cold and way too windy, and I didn't carry my scarf today. Too windy, too windy. I thought it's spring, but I was wrong. It is still winter. It will forever be winter. Oh my god. Sometimes I wonder if my loneliness is a facade. It's like a feeling of deep pain and hurt in my heart that just masquerades as loneliness. Maybe I feel unfulfilled in some respect, and that's what's bothering me. Or maybe an unresolved issue is resurfacing to make me feel the way I do. After moving to Ireland, I restarted my therapy because I wanted to feel more healthy in general. And when I tell my therapist these things, she says that it's because I'm extremely overwhelmed with everything going on, including the pandemic. Then I told her that the pandemic doesn't bother me so much right now. I'm used to it. And then she told me that the trauma of it, though, could be carrying over and causing some anxieties and fears. Weirdly enough, that did reassure me because I felt that it was not just me feeling this way. The entire world faced a pandemic, so imagine the number of people carrying the trauma of it mentally for years. But never did I think that such things could possibly even act out as loneliness, because we don't actually know what's going to happen, and we want to live our lives fully right now, at the same time be productive and do well in our careers. But it feels like time is running out, and that at any moment, the world can go through the worst thing imaginable. So I try to remind myself of all of these things and reassure myself that the loneliness is temporary. It will go one day. Maybe it will disappear when I start living with my partner. Maybe it will disappear when I feel more fulfilled in other aspects of my life, like my PhD. Maybe it will disappear when I achieve some personal goals, like some muscle definition on my body or blemish free skin. Maybe I'll feel less lonely if I visit India this year during vacation. Maybe I'll feel less lonely if I watch more shows. Or maybe I'll feel less lonely if I start an Instagram page and a YouTube channel and build an online community. I don't know. I don't know. And that's when I realized that maybe it would never go at all. And so, what if it doesn't? I do a mental exercise and pretend like I genuinely have nobody and that I'm really alone, facing my worst fear. What would I do then? I'd possibly cry. What about the next day? I'd cry again. And the day after that? And after that? Would I resign to continue feeling that way for the rest of my life? Or would I someday in the future try to make friends again? So that means even if I face my worst fear of being completely alone, I would eventually get over it one fine day. So, how do I cope with loneliness? I probably don't have anything reassuring to say. Yes, there will be moments like these, there will be so many. There will be days when you're walking down the most crowded street, but you've never felt lonelier. Some songs will make you feel worse. Not all books are comforting. Sometimes new shows help more than rewatching old ones. There is just no formula, there is no single answer. So, no, the loneliness does not just disappear. Even if you're dating someone, even if you're doing the job that you want, living the life in the place that you want, even if, like me, you are actually proud and happy with the life you've built, and you actually love your life and the people in it, even then, you will feel lonely at times. But if it's any consolation, it will become your silent companion with time. You'll realize that it's not such a bad companion either. Sometimes it helps you get things done. In my case, it helps me write better poetry and connects me to my thoughts. You will learn to make friends with your loneliness. And one fine day, when a lonely night hits, you'll see that you won't spiral down anymore. You'll probably cry a bit, or maybe even not. And you'll think to yourself, it will pass. It comes, but it has to go. And also, if everyone is feeling a little bit lonely, then we can all feel it together, which means we aren't actually alone, are we?